We are going to see how we can create smooth camera moment locked onto an object. To start with, we delete the default cube and add monkey so that we can identify camera movement easily. Let's click the monkey and press G and Z to move it slightly above the mesh plane. Let's select the camera and click numpad 0 to adjust view to camera view. Then we click N and check View tab. Then enable Lock Camera to View. And again press N to hide the controls. Now let us adjust the monkey in the middle of the frame or any orientation as we like. Ensure that the camera is selected as active object. Now this is very important. We will enable auto keyframe insertion by clicking dot above the timeline controls. Now we are ready with auto keyframe inserted. Watch this carefully. Hit spacebar and immediately keep numpad 4 pressed until frame 120 or so. After this frame, quickly release numpad 4 and shift to numpad 6 and keep it pressed until the last frame in the timeline. It's done. Let's play the animation. In the timeline workspace, let us enable Graph Editor. Click Normalize. It shows how the various keyframes are inserted. Observe that the keyframes in the middle are very few, as shifted the camera rotation direction midway. Blender has controls to insert missing keyframes here. All we need to do is hold Shift plus Option keys and press O simultaneously. We can observe that the keyframes are added. Similarly, we can add keyframes at the beginning and at the end of timeline where there were no keyframes. For doing this, you need to move to the first frame and click I to insert keyframes for all channels. Then move to the last keyframe and click I to insert keyframes. Then press Shift key, Option key, and O to make the frame smooth. Let's run the animation again. It looks better with keyframes added. If the camera rotation seems too fast, then we can make some changes and again, record keyframes with super smooth motion. Let's clear the current animation keyframes. Go to Edit tab and selected Blender Preferences. Locate the navigation section. Observe that the default rotation angle step is 15 degrees per step. We will modify this to 2 degrees per step. Again, we enable auto keyframe setup. Generate the keyframe by following the same process. But this time, Notice that the camera movement per step is smaller, hence the rotational view will look much more smoother. Again, we go back to the graph editor and normalize it. Insert the missing frames and play the smooth camera motion. Please remember that numpad 4, numpad 6 are for clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation around the vertical axis of the monkey, and the numpad 2 and numpad 8 are for the rotation around the horizontal axis. We can create desired navigation of camera view around the object. Please share your comments down below. Thanks for watching.